It's too hard to sleep. I got the sheets on the floor. Nothing on me and I can't take it no more. It's 100 degrees. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon. This is Modern Escape. Hello, salut, shalom, and bonjour, and welcome to the first of our summer-themed episodes. My name is Factor 500 Oodles, and joining me today is, get ready, back in his day, summer wasn't even invented. Just 12 months of endless winter and nights. It's Biggie.
Hello.
When the ice cream van comes, he can never decide what to buy due to choice paralysis. He usually ends up walking away in a huff. It's Stig.
Oh, I don't. I buy them all. Hello.
And he doesn't go abroad because he always says, the beaches of Newcastle are canny enough for me, like, it's Gadget.
I don't go abroad because it's hot out there. I don't like the heat. Hello.
You like the Newcastle beaches?
It's not a beach in Newcastle. It's fucking North and South Shields, you dickhead.
I don't know. And Candy is off again, the lazy cow. She's using them holiday days up rapidly, but she'll be back very soon. Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy and incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show notes, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. And now, it's time for a little bit of a news digest with Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
That's right, bringing you the breaking news as it happened at some point during the week. So, first things that come up is Taika Waititi jokes about his Star Wars movie revolving around Jar Jar Binks. He joked that, I'm not going to ruin Star Wars. No, I'm not. What if I was like, yeah, I'm going to give you the Jar Jar Binks story? Because he's got his own Star Wars movie coming out, but there's literally nothing about it at the moment. Definitely interested to see what he comes up with, because he did 2 or 3 episodes of Mandalorian, is it?
He did 2. He did the
2.
last 2, I think, of the first series. And you could definitely tell as well, there's little jokes in there, like the stormtroopers missing the can.
He did voice a few characters as well, didn't he?
Yeah. He's basically said that it's not going to be anything to do with the Skywalkers or anything around them or anything to do with the Rebels, the Resistance, the Empire. It's going to be in that universe, but far away, because no one ever wants to touch on the actual rest of the galaxy. And he said that he's going to, which is good.
Everybody knows there's only 4 planets in a galaxy.
Yeah. I could see him doing a similar thing to what he did with What We Do in the Shadows, but it's based around stormtroopers going through training camp. You know, something.
Could you imagine that?
Little bit fly on the wall documentary with a comedy edge to it. Plus, there's like lots of them have got a Kiwi accent, so that helps. Could be all about the clones.
I was just going to cast Timura Morrison once.
Yeah.
Just CGI copy and paste him.
I think
imagine Matt Berry as a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
I don't want any Jedi, any Sith, any stormtroopers or anything. Just set it in that world. Maybe you can allude to them, but just do a sci-fi in a different part of that galaxy.
Ooh, a moisture farmer just out going about his day.
I think you'd probably have to make some connections back to the main players in it, but you could have stormtroopers there. It could be, say, I'm just off the top of your head, do something a little Firefly-esque, where you've got them having to deal with the Empire at times. You know, you still need to have some connection into it.
Moving on. We've got Horizon Netflix show will be called Horizon 2074. Some of the crew includes people who've worked on The Boys and The Expanse. So yeah, according to Jeff Grubb and VGC, both said that the show would be called Horizon 2074.
I hate
There's
that name.
very little about it, but I think it will split its time between the timeline that you see in the games and the timeline when things begin to fall. So there's a little idea in place, but very
You
little
do know
else at
what
the moment.
that naming convention entails, then, don't you? If they're calling it that, that means Aloy's not going to be the main character in this.
No.
It's going to be something else.
Which again, it can work if they come up with something different.
Absolutely. But I don't like the name. It just sounds like a Blade Runner ripoff. I know it's a different year, but
Yeah.
Or a Cyberpunk ripoff.
yeah, it's just a bit pants.
Next up, we've got the next Ghostbusters movie coming next year. Sony have announced its untitled sequel at the moment, but they believe it's going to come out December 2023. They haven't said if Jason Reitman, who was the son of the original director, Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters, whether he'll be behind the camera again. But it will take place in New York City and will involve the original firehouse. So
I think he is back now. I think he has been confirmed that he's going to be part of it. So
awesome. The last one was great, really good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. It came under criticism from a lot of people due to the end, but I really liked that. I thought it was quite touching.
It's a nice hype moment. I liked it.
Yeah, and they definitely set it up to go back to New York. So, but I would like to see the kids in it because I thought that the girl in it was really good. What's her name?
Yeah.
Mackenzie. I forget her second name, but I thought she was brilliant. So I'd like to see her in the film. Yeah,
a little podcast, and Finn Wolfhard's in it, isn't it?
Podcast I could give or take. Finn Wolfhard, they'd like to give him something to actually do.
Actually do, yeah, rather than swoon over girls all the time. That's his fucking job, isn't it, lately? But yeah, I do. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I saw people online, it's not believable, that ending. I'm like, the film's about ghosts. He can do what he wants.
Oh, actually, I would like to see more ghosts. That is one thing that it really lacked.
It didn't have many, did it?
No.
Talking further, more adaptions. There's apparently a Fallout TV adaptation on its way.
Now you said TV, I'm happy with that.
With Carl McLaughlin, Zelia Mendez-Jones, and Aaron Moten so far. No further details have been given about who's playing what roles, etc. According to Variety.
Carl McLaughlin is playing a bad guy. I'm calling it right now.
He's obviously from Twin Peaks, for those who may not remember who he is.
I love him, though.
Desperate Housewives.
He's actually from Flintstones the movie.
It was revealed ages ago as well that Walter Goggins is going to be one of the lead characters in it.
Yeah.
And he may be playing a ghoul. Yeah.
He's going to be a ghoul. Walton Goggins looks like a ghoul, and he could pull it off.
Walton Goggins.
I love him. I think he's brilliant. So yeah, I'm down for that being a TV show. Take your time, expand the universe, tongue in cheek, but not too tongue in cheek.
They can put. I'm currently playing Fallout 4 at the moment. I'm guessing with technology for TV these days, you can get the special effects. They can create enough of the world to look that way, can't they? I mean,
yeah,
it'll easily
of course
be done.
They can. Most of it will be inside anyway, in vaults and stuff. I'm bang up for it.
And in fact, that's probably a good point, actually. I imagine it would be a lot of that, and they can just occasionally show the outside, when they need to. It would save them money, wouldn't it?
As long as we've got vault boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool with it.
I bet you now that it's not anything to do with like Fallout post, like nuclear fallout. It'll be like the lead up to it.
I don't want that.
I know, just these TV shows like, let's look at what happened to the world to get us to this point. It's like, no. Let's just do what people are fans of. Yeah?
I'm happy with the first episode being that. The first episode being the lead up. That's it.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Because bear in mind, the beginning of those games, it's 1950s and stuff, isn't it?
You've got the door salesman, haven't you? Selling the vault.
It's not 1950s.
They all look 1950s, don't they? They all look.
It's retrofuturism. It's something like 2077 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the bombs drop, but everything's like gone with it as in the 1950s. It all gone nuclear and like you have radioactive cars and shit like that. Yeah, it's retrofuturism, but it is technically always in the future.
Yeah. Next.
Sadly, we lost the PlayStation Dreamcast creator, Bernie Stolar, passed away. He was the person behind the PlayStation Dreamcast. He served as the president and chief operating officer at Sega of America, during which time he oversaw the development of the Dreamcast. And prior to his time at Sega America, he was the executive vice president at Sony Computer Entertainment, which saw him overlooking the franchises Crash Bandicoot, Ridge Racer, Oddworld, and Spyro. So, yeah, very sad.
I mean, the Dreamcast didn't do much for me in my life, but the PlayStation absolutely changed my life. Massive for me growing up. Just what a sad loss.
And a bit of lighter news. The Gjallarhorn from Destiny, the rocket launcher, is available to pre-order, but it's made by Nerf. You can order it. Now, this is weird. You can pre-order this. They begin on July the 7th. So, when's that out? It's on Thursday, right? The day of the pod?
Yeah.
Is that how time works?
Yes, that's how time works.
At 10 a.m. But existing Gjallarhorn owners get dibs. So if you want to do this, you need to unlock it in-game in the Destiny 2 Bungie 30th anniversary pack before July the 7th. And if you do that then you can get into a virtual waiting room for your purchase. So you've got just over a week to do it.
Got this expensive toy you can pre-order, but you need to pay money into our game first or grind it out for 3 weeks.
You either have to have a good PC, a good console, the game. I know it's free, the game's free now, but that's just, I hate that. There's too many barriers.
If you want to buy it, it's $185.
Sell it in Toys R Us. I can't even sell it in Toys R Us anymore. It don't exist.
The only thing I will say is it does look awesome.
Yeah, it looks
and I can imagine
brilliant.
cosplayers getting hold of one and then obviously painting it and making it look like the one in the game.
Yeah, that's where the real money's going to come in from that.
Yeah.
They'll resell them on fully decked out Galal. Because I remember using that in Destiny 2. I like it as a rocket launcher, but I wasn't a rocket launcher guy. Didn't really.
They've also claimed that when you reload, like it does in the game, the entire top housing of the blaster itself shifts forward, opens the loading bay like it does, and then you can pop in the shells, which are obviously the Nerf darts, and it fires multiple darts at once.
Imagine if it could have a Nerf shell and it was as big as like a Subway sandwich. Just fucking flinging through a house.
Knocking your kid out.
Like that. Yeah, fucking hard to do.
The internet has raised its ugly head again this week as the Return to Monkey Island creator, Ron Gilbert, has now decided he will not talk about the game anymore until it's released due to the feedback that he got when the graphics were shown, including part of the gameplay, I believe.
Yeah.
People were going...
And I think it looks fucking brilliant.
It looks absolutely fine. I mean, you're judging something that you haven't even played yet, which I know everyone does and all that kind of thing, but it's just... Apparently the comments are awful.
Yeah, people are booting off about it because it doesn't look like the games from the 90s. I'm like, what do you expect? It's a new game. It's not, it's not the old game.
But neither did the remasters they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Look fine. I like
the look. It's like stylized cartoons that you see nowadays, and it's all... I think it looks fucking brilliant.
Better than those like mid-2000 ones. Where...
Oh, yeah.
The thing is as well, really... Ron Gilbert should have had a PR person doing these reveals and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, Ron Gilbert's not built for that.
No, he's not. He's too nice a guy. And I feel heartily sorry for him that all this has happened. But yeah, there's part of it is like, and I know Ron Gilbert likes to be in touch with the fans and he likes to talk directly to people. And he always has, back since the 90s when he first made the games. But it's definitely the culture now online. It's so toxic. You've got to have a community manager doing this kind of stuff. Someone who's trained to deal with this bullshit.
Santa Monica had something like similar as well.
Get it.
People like that because they're entitled dickheads, and I'm saying it now to you. If you're listening, you're an entitled dickhead if you're that kind of person. But I don't think any of our listeners are.
No, like you can dislike something, like play it and go, all right, I don't like this, and be critical of it. That's perfectly fine. Or if it's really offensively bad, maybe you can have a little gadget style rant at it.
Like I don't like Skyrim, but I've told you multiple times why I don't.
Yeah, but
I don't get offended by it. You know what I mean?
To get a short clip of something. This is what our new game like, and then I start raging over it. Like people, like literally, making their whole life and identity about the fact that Kratos gets into the boat the same way in Ragnarok as he does in the first God of War.
Oh, God.
Why wouldn't he? Well, it's an extension.
Reuse assets. It's quicker.
Yeah.
He's getting in a fucking boat. What do you want him to do?
Exactly.
It's the
Flip
same
into
guy.
it.
It's like, get a fucking grip. Get a life.
I get into bed the exact same time every night, every
Yeah,
time.
Monkey Island looks great.
It does.
Just people are bellends.
Yeah.
Don't be a
it's-
bellend.
I'm sure I saw somewhere that someone was sending one of the Santa Monica developers dick pics until keep sending them
awful.
until they reveal the release date of Ragnarok. I mean, it's just mad, isn't it?
Awful. It's disgusting. It's awful. There's
Fucking
worse
hell.
things than that. That's the problem. You think that's bad? There's worse. Oh, it's awful. Awful.
The internet was a mistake.
Yeah, shut it down.
Social media was a mistake.
Oh, fucking
Internet
right.
is fine.
Persona, live action film and TV adaptation, could be on its way from Sega. I reckon that'll work really well as an anime. I'm not 100% sure it'll work.
Why would you put it in meat space?
There already
Just do
is
an
Persona
anime.
animes. There's
Do
lots
more
of
animes.
Persona animes. There's loads.
I'm not sure about live action.
We saw what was that one that got remade with John Cho in it recently that was cancelled after one season, converting anime.
Cowboy
to-
Bebop.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Death Note film?
that Dragon Ball Z film.
Yeah, animated
M.
live
Night
action did
Shyamalan's
not
Avatar.
work. Anyone ever seen the Guyver live action?
Yes.
Yeah, Guyver. Yeah,
Fucking awful.
it's awful.
Don't try and remake anime or manga into
Persona's
fucking physical
that's
stuff.
going to cost too much. It's about demons and it's like Pokemon, but demons and
And you're just not going to get the style.
schoolgirls.
You're not going to get the style of the Persona games with physical people because
No chance.
the art. I mean, the art style is what sells most of it, and most of them are impossibly proportioned. They're all super skinny and like 18 foot tall.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do the things that the games do, like ripping the faces off to get to transform or shooting themselves in the head to like do the special attack. I don't think they're going to do that on a live action. It's not now. Stupid.
The Nazi atmosphere.
Look at me moaning like one of those Twitter guys, but I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'll just give you that. I'm not angry. I just think it's
The
daft.
soundtrack will be banging though, won't it?
Well, no, because
It
that,
helps a bit.
that composer's not working on Persona stuff anymore.
No.
Oh, is he not? Oh,
No, he's
okay.
gone off to do something else. So like,
We're going to see loads of Sega stuff, by the way. They've full. If you watch the Sonic films, they have like proper like Sega productions open. It's pretty cool actually. Like when you watch it, you see all these clips of old like Streets of Rage and Sonic and all these old games popping up, and I quite like that. But yeah, they've already talked about Streets of Rage film or TV show. Haven't
That's
they?
more doable though. Fighting
And
film,
now
fighting
this,
game.
and yeah, you're going to see all kinds of things coming out from Sega in the next.
I'm just waiting
several years.
for Echo the Dolphin.
Can see it.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Henry Cavill as Mike Hagar. You can see it now.
And also as Echo the Dolphin. Oh, that'll be better. Cumberbatch, won't it?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yeah, he could be the Dolphin.
Golden Axe, guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly, apparently June 2 will now have a release date of November the 17th, 2023, according to Culture Crave on Twitter.
Cool. Into it.
It's nice. It's not far away.
It's not far away when you think about it.
Take your time. If it gets pushed back, I don't care.
Absolutely.
I just want it to
Take
be right.
your
I want it to be
time.
right.
mind.
I don't want it to be too rushed.
Take your time.
I wish someone else had taken their time doing this. Logan Paul has signed up for WWE.
I think it's hilarious.
That's where they're at now. That's where they're at. He was really good at WrestleMania. He had minimum training and he's very athletic. And
Isn't he a good boxer as well, I think?
He's a natural bad guy, so his persona is a fucking wrestler, innit? He's a heel, but now they brought him back for SummerSlam and signed him, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, but wait while Logan Paul's the Intercontinental Champion. What a weird thing.
It's just... Ugh. They talk about not making new stars. People complain about the WWE never making new stars. And this is why. because they'd rather bring a celebrity in, give him a full-time contract, and actually make their own stars. There's no, like, they literally, for SummerSlam, they've had to go back to Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar for like the 9th time because they've got nobody in a position to fight Roman Reigns as the main bad guy, because they're just so shit at booking. You don't get a Rock or a Steve Austin or an Undertaker anymore.
I was going to say, haven't they all buggered off to AEW?
Some of them have, but most of them are retired. But you just don't get the difference is, like this week, a proper mid-card guy won a battle royal to fight the world champion, and instantly it works. It just works because of the way it's booked and the person they've chosen. You just don't get that in WWE. They're just more bothered about what's the next celebrity we can get, what's the next like entertainment thing we can get. So if you're like a wrestling fan, it's not fun. They're not fun anymore.
The thing is, though, now think about it. We're 2 steps away from influencers like Logan Paul. Maybe, Stig, you might be on the WWE in future years.
Oh yeah, that's the only way you'll get me to go and watch wrestling. Is that
watch me like instantly break? I would like step into the ring and all my bones would just break instantly.
It's the man who's made of crisps. He's here.
We'll come running in and save you, though.
Also found it funny that this news comes out 2 weeks after Vince McMahon's forced to step down from the board because of his busy hands.
He's got busy hands.
Distract them from that. Oh, let's get Logan Paul in.
Known good person.
Just a couple of very quick things. The cel-shaded classic game 13 has already had its remake.
Getting another remake.
It was shit, so it's got another remake coming. And if you've already got it, it's a free update for you, and it's in September 13th. Apparently,
I played 13 again on a PS2 emulator like a couple of years ago. Doesn't hold up like you think it does. I know some people absolutely.
I like the gimmick. I like the gimmick.
The idea. There's so many better shooters.
I'm sure.
Let me die.
Very topical. One of our favourite things that never doesn't get mentioned on this pod is Stranger Things 4. Kate Bush is estimated to have earned $2.3 million in streaming royalties for running up that hill.
Good, Kate.
Yeah, she broke like loads of records and earned a load of money because a popular TV show decided to license her music. Oh, it's great. So
just kind of imagine just lying on the sofa, just doing Kate Bush things. Just checks her bank account. What the fuck happened there?
No, I don't think Kate Bush has got a smartphone to look at her bank. I bet she floats into the Barclays Bank. Hey, I'm Kate Bush. What is my bank balance? And then she gets told. That's how she finds out.
Very 80s style.
I'm sweaty. I've been running up that hill to get here.
Red card.
Red card.
Fuck's sake.
And then I think finally, Doctor Doom is coming to join the Marvel Universe, allegedly. Howard Stern
predicted this last year.
No, not this. Not seen the news of how this has slipped out.
No,
there's this rumor.
Well, then, Stiggy, take it away.
So Howard Stern apparently was hot mic'd during an advert, and people caught the fact that he is working on something to do with Doctor Doom.
What?
So he says,
Howard Stern with the curly hair, the DJ.
Yeah.
What?
He said something like, someone said, "What, you work on this?" Somebody said, "Well, I'm going to do Doctor Doom." But believe me, I'm miserable about it. So no one knows what it is. Like he said, he spoke to Robert Downey Jr. about it. There was mention of Kevin Feige in this, and no one knows what it's about. He said he was working on something to do with Doctor Doom. Like, is he going to be the voice of Doctor Doom, or is he just going to appear as himself in the Fantastic Four?
I hope so. I hope that's just it. Yeah, just a cameo. Oh.
Yeah. So it's more of it's a bit of a non-news story, but also like there is something. No,
it'll just be a cameo. It'll just be a cameo.
And with obviously, Marvel have said that they're doing Comic-Con this year. So in the next few weeks, we are going to get some massive Marvel news because they're doing.
We might have to do a separate podcast for that, Stig.
Yeah, I'm going to say now that I think they reveal the Fantastic Four on stage. I think they bring out the 4 that they've cast the Fantastic Four.
I know it's going to be.
And they're going to push, and they're going to push, potentially give us a release date for any X-Men. I don't think, because there's been rumours this week that Taron Egerton might play Wolverine.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to reveal anything other than
He's short enough.
X-Men is coming, or Avengers is coming, like the next Avengers. I think the next Avengers might be. Do you know what? I have no idea where this phase is going, to be honest. I'm not even going to take a guess.
I don't think we'll get an Avengers this phase. It could be next phase.
No, not this phase. I mean, like the way that this phase is going, the way that the following stuff. I don't generally have any idea.
It's a weird one. I think it's a weird mid-transition phase.
I saw a mock-up, I guess, of IGN had put up, I think, of John Krasinski as Reed Richards dressed up in the outfit.
Imagine seeing that.
I think that would be a terrible idea.
It's not a mock-up, is it?
No, it's not a mock-up.
No.
Sorry, listeners. It's not a mock-up. Bleep that.
That cat is well and truly out of the bag now. So,
why do you think I'm so excited?
You don't really think that's happening then, yeah? With him?
I know it's happened.
Well, okay. You can get this out then if it's a spoiler. I have no idea.
Don't tell him what he's not seen, so he doesn't know what he's
Okay, fair enough.
What I've not seen. What have I seen that I've not seen, and have I seen?
We've already got us Reed Richards, and it's fucking good. It's fucking really good.
Okay, cool.
Other than that. Is that the news, mate? I couldn't help that, mate. You just made it so bad. I couldn't help being that guy. Oh, fuck. Biggie's like, I've got a good idea. John Krasinski, he'd be really good. Banging it on Twitter and someone going, duh. Oh, let's get on with the Nexus, for fuck's sake. Thank you, Biggie. That was an intelligent and adequate news segment.
Adequate, that's what he's going for. What have I been up to? I've spent most of the week watching some of the games done quick, as you kind of would expect it. They raised just over $3 million. Which is brilliant for them.
Fantastic.
And it was just really nice that they were back in person for the first time since before the pandemic. And it was just like it's been great watching them do that remotely over the last couple of years, but actually having the audience there and having the kind of the crowd interaction that they get with it, it's just a different energy to watch, and it's so much more.
You get them claps. I like them claps when they've done something cool.
Yeah,
a good glitch, and they all go, yeah.
Or they're just whatever the internal meme is. Whenever someone says the word orb, and the crowd goes orb in the background. Don't know why they do it, but I've obviously missed the start of whatever that was. But
that'll be from years ago.
There were just some really, really massively impressive runs. I dipped in and out of the Elden Ring one, which was just absolutely unreal, getting all the remembrances in under 2 hours.
Is that out now on VOD?
No, I kind of watched bits and pieces of it this morning. The VOD will be out tomorrow for it. I'll send you a link when it's up.
Cheers, mate.
What else to watch? I watched some of the silly games. So like they did, do you remember Incredible Crisis back on the PlayStation 1 years ago? It was weird Japanese,
I do.
speed run of that.
I like it. I like that game.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X in under 4 hours.
I don't believe that.
How did they do that?
They must have a turbo button for dialogue skips.
No, so what they had was so it was the PC version, was slightly modded, so it cuts out all the cutscenes.
It's just the walking bits and the fights.
Yeah, it was the walking bits, running away from most of the fights, and then kind of min-maxing. So like one of the is it Aeons in that game, the summons?
Yeah.
One of the summons was when he hit a crit, he was doing 999,999 damage. So he's basically one-shotting the end game bosses.
You can do that. You can do it on 10. You can do it on 8 as well. On 8, you don't even have to battle at all apart from bosses. It's fucking crazy.
The Halo Infinite run was really good, as you predicted, Stig. A lot of grapple hook.
It's the only way to do that quickly.
Yeah, and but even then, it was still a challenging run because they have to fight the bosses and all that, and the boss fights are terrible in that game. But yeah, it's all on YouTube. It'll all be on YouTube in the next few days or so. So just go. I'm going to go back and watch some more ones. So I'll come up with some recommendations as well. I'll stick them on the Discord. But the main thing I've been doing is Pip and I have binged also binged through over the last 2 weeks. Veep.
Veep, yes.
Veep. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so Veep is HBO's take on The Thick of It, adapted by Armando Iannucci for the American audience. And it's one of those. It's a little bit like an American Office situation where I actually
it's good, isn't it?
I think it's at times better than The Thick of It.
Yeah, some parts of it, yeah.
It's certainly more coherent storytelling rather than just because the Thick of It was like 3 episodes at a time whenever there was something big political happening.
Yeah.
Or whereas this is like a coherent plot that runs through. If you haven't seen it, it stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who you know most as Elaine from Seinfeld. Playing Selina Meyer, the Vice President of the United States, as it starts. And the series follows Meyer and her team as they attempt to make their mark and leave a legacy, but often instead get mired in the day-to-day political games and absolute bullshit because they're all kind of inept.
Yeah, they're crap.
All of them, they are crap. And there's 7 series of it, and the series kind of runs through the very start where Selina is the Vice President to something Hughes, I can't remember his full name. And as it goes on, she eventually...
James.
No, it's not James Hughes. Something else. But either way, eventually she kind of goes up. He resigns, so she becomes the president for a brief period of time. Then she goes into an election cycle, and you get the kind of the bitter end of politics. It is such a biting satire of how crooked and cryptic and horrible American politics are.
All politics.
No, well, especially American politics, with just the way money is focused on everything and the kind of the
lobbying.
Yeah, with lobbying, the things that people are willing to do to retain or to retrieve power. It's absolutely like I don't want to kind of spoil the last episode, but the last episode, you see the real true colors of Selina, like how dirty and horrible a character she is at her core, and what she's willing to do to become the president again.
Yeah.
And it's fucking brilliant because every other character in it gets a kind of happy ending, but she doesn't, and I really like that.
She doesn't deserve one.
No, she doesn't deserve one at all, and it's brilliant. The writing is superb. The performances are brilliant. Hugh Laurie has a guest spot for the last couple of seasons as a rival senator called Tom James. And he's put his house accent on again, so he's gone American again. But he's fucking brilliant. He's so funny.
It's pure house, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He only has one American accent.
Yeah, and that's house.
Yeah. Is there a creative swearing like the thick of it though?
Well, actually, funny you brought that up because I've made a collection of my favorite insults.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
some good ones.
Unlike the thick of it, it's not just a Malcolm Tucker character throwing these insults out. There's about 6 characters throughout the whole thing which will throw the most creative sweary insults out there.
Yep.
So, for instance, we'll start off low here. You know you're about as annoying as a condom filled with fire ants. What are you laughing about, Jolly Green Jizzface? This one was one of the characters taking the piss out of this character's new car, and he says, "Like your mum, it's been previously loved and paid for by a couple of guys."
I like that.
Your secretary to the vice president, that's like being Garfunkel's roadie. Settle something for me, Jonah. You like to have sex and you like to travel? Then you can fuck off. The next 2 are kind of longer ones, but they're I fucking love these so much. Imagine something small has crawled up a dead cow's ass, and then that small thing actually dies itself. If that dead thing then farted out a sack of eggs, but each individual egg is a smaller, rotting dead thing, that's how toxic she is.
Great show.
I love this one. You're not even a man. You're like an early draft of a man, where they just sketched out a giant mangled skeleton, but they didn't have the time to add details like pigment or self-respect. You're Frankenstein's monster if his monster was entirely made out of dead dicks.
Fucking brilliant.
And the last one, I think this is actually from the first episode. This is something Selina says. It says, "That's like trying to use a croissant as a fucking dildo. Let me be more clear. It doesn't do the job and it makes a fucking mess." So yeah, the writing in it's absolutely stellar. There's some fucking wonderful insults in it. So the last season 7, came out in 2020. So it was obviously filmed just before the pandemic. There is so much kind of like stuff kind of turning and swirling around kind of Trumpism. There are characters that actually just repeat things that Trump had said. It kind of
one of the episodes was going to get banned in America at one point, but they lobbied against it getting banned and stuff. There's a lot of shit behind it.
Yeah, they managed to they managed to encapsulate just how toxic American politics can be in a way that's actually still funny to watch, but is also kind of horrifying.
Yeah, because a lot of it is set in truth, isn't it? That's the problem.
All of it's set in
but
truth.
so was the thick of it.
Yeah. So I would hardly recommend everybody watches it. I think it's a really funny show. The seasons aren't short. Like the first season's 8 episodes. Most of them are 10 episodes. The last season's 7 episodes. So you can rattle through most of it in a day.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and they're all half-an-hour episodes as well. But it's just really funny, and you will cry laughing at some parts. There are some insults that come out that made me kind of choke on me drink. I really think it's fucking brilliant.
So you can ask for.
Yeah, it's and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she is absolutely fantastic as Selena because she has that politician smile where she's having that smile, but behind her eyes you can see she's thinking, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Which she frequently also says as well.
Unrested bitch face, as I've heard it's been known as.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Watch Veep.
Yeah, it's worth of your time.
I did watch In the Loop recently. I actually got added to Netflix. I finally caught up and watched that one.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's on Netflix at the moment. So
it's good.
Interestingly enough, for whatever reason, I did look up that guy's name, Mr. Hughes. I cannot believe you forgot his first name. You talk to one every week.
Oh, is it Stuart?
Oh, it's a Stuart.
Yep.
Stuart.
To
be fair, most of the time he's referred to as Hughes or the President. So you don't very often hear his first name.
It's not often you get a Stuart in a
actually, yeah, you're right. But watch it.
Stuart Little.
That and Stewie Griffin, that's about it.
Is his name actually Stuart? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Me now. Moving on to me. I've had one of them weeks where, because I've got a week off now from work, I get 10 days off because my shifts work. So I've been winding down all week. And
I thought you were going to say wanking.
I thought he was going to say that as well.
No, because my week off doesn't start till tomorrow. So, as I'm recording, so it'll be wanking tomorrow. Wanking's tomorrow. I'm not reviewing my wanks because they're all 10 out of 10s anyway. We know this. We know this. But I did do a little thing this afternoon while I was playing with one of the main things I want to talk about. Not a wank. Not a wank.
We still haven't moved on.
Not a wank.
No, it was just the playing with.
Yes. Not a wank, but it was wank. I watched half an hour of Morbius and I turned it off.
Why? I did this for you already. I sacrificed my time for the good of the pod, and I told you to not bother. Don't let the curiosity get to you.
I was playing on my laptop anyway, and I had it hooked up to my monitor, and I thought, I'll watch a film while I'm doing this other thing that I'm doing.
That's how I watched it, to be fair.
Yeah. And I just turned it off.
Mobius.
It's fucking crap. The half an hour's crap. That was. There's no redeemable about it.
I don't get what we're doing this. I know I'm just interrupting you, Idols, but can we quickly talk about what the fuck they're doing with this Spider-Man villain universe?
I don't know.
They've got Madam Web coming out, which they've just cast Emma Roberts in this week, and they've got
Emma Roberts.
Yeah, Julia Roberts' daughter.
Yeah, young girl.
Yeah,
Emma Roberts, Madam Web, 70-year-old woman.
Madam Web is not going to be a 70-year-old woman. This because the other person in the film is. What's her name from 50 Shades? Dakota someone? No, not Dakota Fanning. Dakota Johnson.
Close
right.
Gadget.
But Aaron Taylor Johnson playing, is in the Kraven the Manhunter film. And the details of that have been leaked this week. It is not a Kraven film. He's not playing Kraven. He's playing Kraven's son, an animal activist.
Oh, my word.
What are they doing?
Exactly.
I'm so glad I didn't see that look on Eagle's face.
What are they doing?
I'm glad I don't read the news because it just upset me, and I'd end up being one of those Twitter people.
Sony just cannot get it right, can they?
No, they can't launch a console correct. They can't have a universe. The terrible bastards.
Anyway, I'll let you crack on. Sorry, I just had to bring that up.
No. So while I was watching my half an hour of Morbius. Oh, I'm not even going to finish it. It's garbage. I got this in the post recently. For people on YouTube, you can see this beautiful little case that comes with an even more beautiful... I can get the fucker out. I should have planned this. Look at that. It's a Mio Mini version 2. You'll like this. You'll like this, Biggie. This is a proper your cup of tea, this little beauty. I know you can't see very well. This has now got 5,000 ROMs on it.
Is it an emulator box?
Oh, it's an emulator box, baby. I own every single one of those 5,000 games.
Of course you do.
Disclaimer.
Never doubted it.
In the warehouse down the road.
Yes, in my warehouse. I've got them all physical. That's why I'm always poor. I'm paying rent on this warehouse for only 5,000 games.
It's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when you go to get a new game out, isn't it?
Yes. This Mio Mini version 2 is so small that the case itself is about the size of a deck of playing cards. The console itself is tiny. Show me your hands, boys. Let me just see your hands. Yeah, you guys are probably bad at playing this. You've got adult hands. Yeah, I think your hands are smaller than mine, to be fair. Stig, you'll love this.
I've got the big boy coming in the next month. So
yeah, I know you have. I know you've got. But this is a beautiful little $50 machine that I ordered from AliExpress. You know, that website that sometimes you're worried about putting your bank card on, but I did it anyway. It's the best little pocket emulator machine I've ever experienced. I downloaded called Mini UI. Because unlike a lot of emulator machines you get, especially on handhelds, you're stuck with that stock firmware unless you want to brick the console completely. This is very open. It's Linux based. It's very open. You can just put anything, and the community around the Mio is just it's vast. If you like a community of nerds cracking things, this is for you. And they've made this Mini UI, and it's sensational. It can play games I never thought I could play on something so small. The screen is gorgeous. I won't show you here because you won't be able to see it, but it's super bright. The viewing angles are fantastic. It plays anything up to PlayStation 1, and it plays all PlayStation 1 games perfectly.
What's the screen? Is it OLED?
I don't think it's OLED, but it fucking looks very close. I don't think it's quite OLED. It's just stunning. And the aspect ratio of it is fantastic. It's got L2, R2, R1 on the back as well. It is very small. And me showing you on screen is not doing it justice. It's tiny. It's for little man hands that me and Stig have got. But if you can, I believe I think they're doing a bigger version coming out very soon. It's going to be worth it if you're into this guy. I know you, Biggie. You're foaming at the gums for something.
Bring it
like
to the
this.
meet. I'll check it out.
Yeah. I will. This is gonna do you know when you think, I'm going to take my Switch because I'm going somewhere, but I'm going to have time to play games. I don't need to take my Switch anymore. I've got this. And even in the case, that will fit in my skinny jeans. It's fucking incredible. I know people say, well, you can have all these emulators on your phone. I don't like touchscreens. Don't like them. Awful things. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. I can't recommend it enough. Now, let me just tell you now. Obviously, if you got it in certain countries, you would get it fully loaded with a SD card, fully install the games. If you get it imported to Britain, you don't. That gets taken off. So you have to do it yourself. But if you know anything about it, if I can do it while watching half an hour of Morbius, you can do it.
What's the battery life like for it?
I haven't charged it since I've got it. I think I've played about 6 hours of it, and it's on 49%.
Oh.
So fucking good. And I've been playing PlayStation games, which is obviously the most intense you can get on that. It also accepts like PC Engine stuff and ROM hacks and stuff that doesn't need an emulator. That's just a file. You know what I mean? So you can play like Ultra Doom. That's that super ROM hack that they did that makes it look like it's Doom controls, but it's in Doom 3 backgrounds and stuff. It's fucking weird. But it's fucking lovely. It ain't got an analog stick on it, so if you're into your racing games and stuff like that, it might be a bit annoying. Back to the old D-pad, but the physical buttons are stunning. Everything's, I love it. I adore it. Best $50 I've ever spent, and it was with vouchers. So again, love it. If you save up enough vouchers from your emails, guys, when you get all them vouchers sent in emails, fucking love it. But yeah, I think the main thing I should talk about really is Stranger Things. The end. It's all done.
Well, the
for
series
now.
For now, yeah.
For now. Who's watched it here?
I've seen the new episode of one, not the last one.
That you mean
It's
the
a
2.5 hour epic?
Yeah.
Why is it 2.5 hours? We watched the first one on Friday night, and usually Kate is the one that wants to go to bed, and she's like, "Oh, we have to," and I was I was like, "No, it's 1:45 in the morning. I'm not going to." I was like, "I am not staying up till 3 in the morning to watch this, especially when I have to get up, take Amelia to gymnastics." It's like, no, we'll watch it tomorrow. So we watched it the next night, and it still ended up at like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning, finishing it off.
Do you know what? I know we were talking in the green room before we started. The other green room, we've got 2 green rooms.
So posh.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people online have been a bit negative on the, especially the last episode. I don't know where that negativity is coming from.
Nah, me either. I loved it.
I'm it's not even hype or anything like, because it was quite subdued of a final episode if you think about it, Stig. The mid-season finale was more epic than the last episode.
Yeah.
It was subject for a reason. It was subject. There's reasons. I think it's masterfully done. I can't fault anything about it.
No, I've got no faults with it at all. I loved it. I thought it was great. There's spoiler things I don't want to get into, which I can't get into, but which I could say I did or didn't like. But the whole series, I thought, like, I like season 3, but season 3, I think a lot of people see it as probably the weakest one. But I think they just knocked it out of the park. I think the kids have matured so much, and there's bits in that finale. I just thought, wow, like you could just see how much they've come on as actors. There's like one scene in particular.
It's weird when you watch a show.
Amazing.
Every single one of those kids could grow up to become a proper star. They're stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there's a weak link in them. Like sometimes you might start off with a bunch of kids and then realise the further you get in, one of these is a bit shit and a weak link.
Yeah,
I don't think you get that with these.
I saw someone on Twitter saying, "Oh, there's too many tropes on this, too many 80s tropes." I'm like, "Are you fucking insane? The whole thing is a homage to 80s."
Yeah.
What a stupid argument to have. I didn't want these tropes. I didn't want it to be predictable. It wasn't predictable. A lot of people want this mega twist in everything they watch nowadays. Stranger Things doesn't have a mega twist. It doesn't need it. It's just a simple. There is twists in it, but it's not a mega twist. It's not like revelations that'll blow you away and you have to pause it and come back in half an hour's time because you're getting your breath back. It's just proper good homage to films that I loved in my youth. And I think it's spellbinding. It's best thing that Netflix does, really, I think. It's up there anyway. But yeah, that's my main thing. Obviously, I can't talk too much because it's all plot heavy. It's just fucking fantastic. If you're not watching Stranger Things, get on it. Gadget. Get on it. Stig, what you been up to?
I watched Men this week. Wow. That film ends. Goes places. Candy
alluded to that.
Was not wrong with the way that film ends. Don't think it works very well. Kind of a little bit bored throughout most of it. But yeah, it goes from one thing to something completely batshit in the last 20 minutes. It's nuts. I went to the cinema twice this week. First up, went to see Minions.
Money
You went to see this as as well, did you, Biggie?
I did.
Yeah, Minions
I
and
wanted to say
Rise.
that too.
Minions.
The Rise of Gru. So this is more of a prequel to Despicable Me. This is clearly a Despicable Me 4, but a prequel, but Minions is the more marketable name, so they just called it a Minions film because the plot and everything revolves around Gru, not the Minions.
No.
Because the last one did it?
No, the last one was around the Minions and
And what kind of creatures they are that were in caveman days or something, weren't
yeah.
they?
This is a lot better than the first Minions. I really hated the first Minions film. I did not like that. I liked Despicable Me 1 and 2. 3, it wasn't great, but the Minions film,
Did you like the
just
first Minion
did
film
not
more than Morbius?
No, I actually give it a lower mark. I just couldn't get on with it because it was so
mind
Minions.
the Minions movie. It was all right.
I don't mind the Minions. There's some humor in them. Like they do some stuff in this which did have me laughing out loud. I laughed more than 6 or 7 times, so that's a good thing. But I think in the first one it's just too much, whereas this one it's not all about them. It's got Gru in there doing things as well. It's got other characters in there which worked really well. But yeah, it's about Gru as a young, I think he's like 11, 12-year-old boy, and he wants to join the Vicious Six because one of the members gets kicked out. So they're looking for a 6th member, and they laugh at him because he's a young boy. So he steals one of their this medallion that they've got, and then all kind of hijinks happens because of that. He's not very evil in this because he's the hero. So there's bad guys, and then do you know how when he's in the start of Despicable Me, he is a bad guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is.
He wants
evil.
to steal the moon, doesn't he?
Yeah, whereas this one doesn't. It kind of alludes to him going the evil way, and it starts out with him being a bit sinister, but it also centers him as a hero of the piece as well. So
He wasn't a baddie on the last Despicable Me, was he? He became a goodie.
yeah.
Or was it on the end of the first one? He became a goodie, didn't he? That was it. I can't remember. It's fucking weird.
But yeah, I thought it's much better. I enjoyed it a lot more than the other films. They are actually doing a Despicable Me 4. It's coming out next year, I
Definitely
believe.
putting a Minion on our pod art as well. Definitely
So,
doing it.
No, don't do
First
that.
Minion.
Not unless Biggie has anything to add, really.
Yeah, I think my daughter
Yes, he's
loved
going
it. So,
on.
I mean, I appreciate that. Like Sticky says, the humour's there mainly for its main target audience, which is obviously the kids, but there's a lot of stuff for the adults to enjoy as well. And the training for the martial arts, the stuff that they learn is really cool.
They had Michelle
Really,
Yeoh
really.
as the martial arts.
Really.
Train
That's
some minions.
cool.
Yeah, the minions training to do martial arts was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of things to make you chuckle. But yeah, it's a absolutely fine kids movie. If you got kids, you want to take them to go and see something, they will appreciate this, and you'll enjoy
Have
it
they
as well.
done a Minions game yet? Like a proper Minions game?
Only mobile stuff, I think, isn't it? That's those stupid.
You'd expect a proper game like Crash Bandicoot style or something like that.
Don't put that out
Spyro
into
the
the
Dragon.
universe. They'll make it.
I
People
don't
like collectathons.
Minion Rush running game. Yeah, it's
That's
a
on
mobile
phone, innit?
mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Get it out there. I think Naughty Dog could do it.
Minions in like a
Gritty remake.
Last of Us style apocalyptic world.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, it was enjoyable enough. I didn't hate it. It was a lot, like I said, a lot better than the first one, which I really didn't get on with.
That's a good start. That's a good sign though for the franchise, isn't it? If they're improving, perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe one day they'll bring out that poignant Minions film that just gets that Pixar magic that you want.
And weirdly, Steve Carell did the voice of Gru, even though he's 11, 12-year-old boy.
They've probably made his voice lower.
Yeah, it just
This
made it
is-
more squeaky. It does have some really good, actual, voice artists in there as well. I think Alan Arkin is in it. Oh God, I put myself on the spot here, haven't I?
Yeah.
I think I saw the trailer to this when I went to see Sonic 2.
It has. So it has Alan Arkin, it has Julie Andrews, Michelle Yeoh, Dolph Lundgren, Danny Trejo, Lucy Lawless,
Nice.
Will Arnett, Steve Coogan, so John DiMaggio.
Wait,
so there's quite a lot of like big names in there.
Nearly all of those names have played bad guys.
Most of these are the bad guys.
Yeah, do you reckon that's a specific choice? That's clever.
Yeah.
The vicious mental characters, anyway. Very funny.
Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Danny Trejo, Lucilos, they're all the bad guys. They're the...
right. Yeah, they've all played bad guys.
Yeah, and Russell Brand's back for younger Dr. Nefario, so...
He plays Dr. Nefario. It's Russell Brand.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that at all. Wow.
So, yeah, they got like a lot of big hitters in there, so... moving on, the main thing is this morning I went to see Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Now I hoped. Don't spoil it. But I hope it's good because I'm a big Elvis fan.
So this is the story of Elvis Presley, but seen through the relationship with his manager, Colonel Tom Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking loved this film. Like, absolutely. Adored it. It's been
I know you like Elvis though, don't you?
Yes, it's been very divisive. Like, you will go on some like Letterboxd and you'll see a 5-star review, and then underneath it you'll see a half-star review. So it's like some people just really do not get on with Baz Luhrmann's style at all. I have only ever seen Romeo and Juliet of his.
Moulin Rouge.
Never seen it. Never seen Great Gatsby.
Wow, they're good.
You'd really like Moulin Rouge, mate.
Yeah, Great Gatsby's good.
I only ever saw Romeo and Juliet, which I really like because that's kind of helpful.
It's stylized, isn't it? It's
stylized Shakespeare, isn't it? But I can see the criticisms of his style, like especially with his scene, like the scene transitions and editing. There's a lot of like kind of CGI movement between scenes, and it's big and
he's always done that
brash
kind of thing.
But I think it works for Elvis. Elvis is loud and brash and colourful, and that works for me.
It's kind of what he did with The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby had a lot of that. Like that was a sumptuous looking film.
They didn't really do any solid cuts, did they? Everything was.
Yeah, everything was moved around rather than just like bang,
clever.
cut to the scene.
That's kind of what he does here. Like you'll be like, oh, they're in Vegas, and it kind of it'll go around the roulette table, and that'll turn into someone's eye and that kind of thing. There's a lot of that going on. There's times where he probably could have turned it down a little bit, but it wasn't enough
to. Baz Luhrmann, though. It's not.
It wasn't enough to put me off. Like I just thought this works for the film. Butler as Elvis is Austin Butler is phenomenal. He doesn't look like Elvis, and I think that was one of the criticisms people had when they saw the trailer. Like, but he's nailed everything else. He sounds like him. The mannerisms, the stage presence, the movement, the hip thrusts, the shaky legs.
I knew you were going to say that.
He has got Elvis down perfectly. When he's on stage doing the stage performances, man, it's just like I just drawn in every single time. It was so good. The music is obviously amazing throughout. If you're an Elvis fan, you'll absolutely love this. But it's not just him.
Can't wait.
It's full of other like rhythm and blues songs and artists as well. So there's a bit of B.B. King in there. There is Little Richard, and there is some modern stuff as well. There's like a few like modern R&B tracks thrown in there during some scenes that kind of mix with Elvis songs. But I think it all works. I really like it.
That's what they did with Moulin Rouge, didn't they? A lot of it were classic stuff, but they turned modern contemporary music into what a French version of it would be.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking clever.
Yeah, it's a real, like, so obviously the film takes liberties with the stories, but they often do with biopics, don't they? There is, the story is narrated to you by Tom Hanks, who's playing Colonel Parker, and it's a bit of an odd one, because if you know anything about him...
Was it a real bastard?
Yeah, absolute real bastard. He's the reason Elvis never performed out of the US.
Yeah,
he's basically the one that drove Elvis to his death by exhausting him too much, pushing him too much, manipulating him so much, providing him with the drugs and with phony doctors to keep him going. He's kind of the reason Elvis died so young. And this story, he narrates it through himself. So he tries to paint himself as in a good light. and he kind of tries to push it on us as the audience and as the people
side with him
that loved Elvis. He's like, he did this for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of
maybe
thing.
That's deliberate, though.
Yeah, so it's really odd. But there are scenes, obviously, where you are just away with Elvis, away from the Colonel. So it's not just about what he knows and what he saw, but he does narrate it and he does kind of fill in some of the blanks. But it's done in a way where he's trying to justify what he did, but it's not Baz Luhrmann trying to justify what the Colonel did. It's kind of the character is trying to justify it, but it works really well. Like, Tom Hanks is brilliant in it. He's just odd. Have you ever watched a film where you hate Tom Hanks?
Wrote a petition.
Cloud Atlas.
No, but like, was he? I've not seen Cloud Atlas, but this genuinely makes you. He's a character you hate. Come away. It's an odd feeling to hate Tom Hanks.
Yeah, of course.
This film will make you hate him, and his prosthetics are really done. He's all done up in big fat suit, and
I've seen the trailer.
Prosthetics and all his hair and everything done up. Kind of at times doesn't look like him. And he's got this really weird Dutch American accent.
I always do like it when Tom Hanks gets to act rather than being Tom Hanks. You know?
Yes,
I do actually.
Yeah, this is not Tom Hanks. Like, he is full on in a character here, which is really good. But yeah, there are things about this in the story you learn that I didn't know about Elvis. I don't know why I don't know this. I didn't know that he grew up predominantly in a black community. I know that
that's where he got the blues from.
That's where he got the blues from. And obviously a lot of people always kind of say, he stole the blues from African Americans. And this film kind of shows you, well, he grew up with them and he grew up in those communities, and that's the music he loves, and that's what he's
extremely
about.
poor as well.
And yes, there's obviously that at that time a white man was more marketable, so that's why. But you see that love, and Austin Butler really puts across that in his performance, like the love of that music. If there's one criticism I'd have, is that his relationship with Priscilla is very quickly brushed over.
Ugh.
Really?
Yeah, it is. He fell in love with a teenage girl, and you see a little scene of them like falling for each other, and then she's old enough to marry him.
She was 14 when they first.
That's not how it went down, and they very quickly just brush over that. There's a lot of things that they don't really go into it. Yeah, they do kind of brush over a few things, but just the performance, the music, the style, the visuals, it was incredible. This film made me cry twice, and Austin Butler doesn't do all the singing. I think there's a few performances where he does sing, but there are certain ones where you see like the comeback special and his final performance before he died, where you can't perform that. If you can't nail that, just dub Elvis over the top, and it's fine because
they've remastered his vocals many times.
Because he does it, he acts it perfectly. So you do believe that the music actually matches up with the performance. But I absolutely loved it. I can see why people don't love it, but for me, as an Elvis fan, as I love his music, I just thought it was incredible. Like,
did you have you ever seen his movies?
No.
Yeah, I have.
I'm more into his
into his music.
He did a lot of army films, didn't he?
Yeah, his movies were really weird because they were just kind of like this. He played that sort of fish out of water character in a lot of the movies. He's always
pretending he weren't good looking.
Yeah, and he has his relationship with a girl and all this kind of thing. And when I was a kid, I just kind of really enjoyed them. And I wasn't. And
I'm kind of sure
I can listen to his music, but I'm not a massive fan. But I did like his movies when I was a kid. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, I'll maybe check them out one day, but I'm not a massive rush. You know, like the stuff like the Beatles movies and Elvis. It was just let's throw musicians into a film. Do you know what I mean?
You can understand why he obviously was a hit musically, but actually, you know, this good-looking guy in movies. You can imagine. I don't actually know how old he was when he died, but he probably could have had quite a big movie career, I imagine.
Yeah, very young.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with it, I mean, the film does touch on his movie career, and he kind of was a big movie star and then faded out because people didn't like those films anymore. Like those type of films he was starring in.
Weight.
Yeah, those type of films were just like, there isn't an appetite for them anymore. That's been and gone.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So, he just, and that's where the comeback special comes into it. The whole thing around that is just...
It's been years, hasn't it?
It's amazing, really. The first time he sings If I Can Dream, it's just... even in the film, it's just... loved it.
Right, we're going to have to be quickly there. Biggie, what you been doing this week? Hopefully it's been one of those bigger weeks where you've been doing fuck all.
Well, we've already spoken about Minions. So, the only other thing I did was watch a comedian that's on Netflix called Joe Coy. He's half white, half Filipino. So my wife put it on. I have seen clips of him. Sitting down watching it as well. Very funny guy. His father was... US Air Force stationed in the Philippines, met his mum, who's a Filipina. Then they went to America. So he kind of grew up in America, but he's growing up with his Filipino mum is a very Filipino way of being brought up. Yep. So my wife absolutely thought it was hysterical. And he obviously does his acting American, but
he's trending big style on TikTok, mate.
He does this incredible bit about accents where he picks on other Asian accents because... he can do that. I'm not going to do it, but he was fantastic. He's very crude as well, and isn't afraid to touch any subject. And one of the funniest things he does is there was a black guy in the audience. He's talking about stereotypes, and he just picked on this guy who's married to a Filipino, and he starts going on about stereotypes. And you've probably got a big dick. I bet you've got a big dick. And this guy is obviously laughing, but you can imagine it getting a bit uncomfortable for him. Then he suddenly announces on stage, he goes, well, my problem is I've got a small dick. And he starts self-deprecating about that. And then he talks
the clip
about
I've
his...
seen. That's one of
the
clips.
And then he talks about his son. And he says, his son says, like, Dad, does this ever grown? He's like, no, you've got my small dick. It's a generational thing. And so his poor son is going to get absolutely annihilated when it's on Netflix. He's still in high school. So he's going to get absolutely destroyed.
That's the true cost of fame.
But it was funny. His whole skit about that is hilarious. But he pokes fun at accents. It's fantastic. Very, very funny. He's got 2 live shows that he's done, which are really worth watching. And then there's another one where he hosts it, but it's more like I've brought special guests and they come on and there's a bit of break dancing and the comedy and stuff.
A bit of breakdance, like the normal things you see at comedy shows, a little bit of breakdancing.
But definitely check out his stand. If you like stand-up comedy, then he is very funny and he's got some great observations as well. But I thought he was brilliant, really good. But my wife is absolutely cracking up with just recognising a lot of the things that his mum did as a Filipina. So check it out.
Excellent. Brilliant. Busy week for all. Right, let's get on to the main topic at hand. So, this is it, guys. Our first themed main topic. I'll run with this one. Don't you worry. Don't you run it. Worry.
I wasn't worrying at all.
You were. You were sat there worrying. I could see you worrying.
Oh, no. I'm worried now.
Because what we're doing summer theme for the next 3 episodes after this. And we're going to start, and this was Stig's idea, and it's perfect. It encapsulates everything. What I think about with summer, it's summer blockbusters. I know people think summer, you'd be outside. When I were growing up, summer was getting into that aircon cinema.
Oh yeah,
and fucking and get escaping the sun. I am a vampire after all. So yeah, we're gonna do summer blockbusters. I think this is going to be a very largely positive roundtable by the looks of things, and we're going to start with Gadget, the man who does love a cinema.
Cool. I do love a cinema. And the one I'm going to talk about is actually one of the first summer blockbusters I went to see in the cinema. Because I didn't get to go to the cinema much when I was a kid, but it was a thing that birthdays and that kind of thing that
treat.
Yeah, mum and dad would take us. But I remember there was one summer. I think my brother was away. Yeah, my brother was away somewhere with a friend. So my parents took us to see this one. I was 10 when this came out. 10? Yeah, I was 10 when this came out. I want to talk about Independence Day.
Yes.
Which is, like I say, the first summer blockbuster I saw in the cinema. This is this was made by Roland Emmerich back when he could make good films. This is the. If you don't know what Independence Day is, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the classic America fuck yeah film where aliens come down to Earth on July 4th and set fire to everything. And
Which
then
is tomorrow.
Yeah, which is tomorrow, in fact, actually. And
Get ready, they're coming.
Yeah, it was released on July the 3rd, 1996. So, you know,
It was.
as we're talking about this, it's 26 years old.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
I feel old.
But yeah, aliens come down just in time for Independence Day, take over the world. America, as usual, has to save the day. And Bill Pullman gets to give the great American president speech about this is our Independence Day.
I think he's brilliant in this one. I think Pullman's fantastic in this.
And Jeff Goldblum gets to give an alien ship a computer virus with an Apple Mac.
Don't you think, right, with Independence Day, I don't want to take your limelight here, but Jeff Goldblum's the least Goldblum in Independence Day than he's ever been.
Watch it back, he's fucking jacked. The man's full of muscle at the time.
He's not sex. He's not doing the sexy swooning though. He's just a nerd, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's like a jacked nerd. He's a nerd that can kick the shit out of you. Yeah, I'm being pithy about the film. I really enjoy the film. It's got some notable facts about it. For instance, it was the highest grossing film of 1996. Which was also hang on, where I just seen it on the Wikipedia.
Is that a year before Titanic as well?
So Independence Day, highest grossing film 1996, beating other blockbusters such as Twister, Scream,
Good film.
Space Jam,
Film.
Mission Impossible,
Good film.
Good film.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Film.
Eraser,
Film.
and The Rock.
Good
Great film.
Yeah, it beat all of those films. It broke the record for because Independence Day that year was on a Friday. Yeah. They released it on a Thursday so that it could be out in time for people to.
They love that, don't they, for charts and stuff as well.
Yeah. So this was the highest grossing Thursday of any film, which wouldn't be beaten until 2002 by Attack of the Clones, of all things.
What the worst film ever made? One of.
I mean, bear in mind, this is 1996. It earned 104 million in its open week.
That's fucking huge.
It's absolutely fucking nuts for the time. It beats Terminator 2's record for scoring the largest 5-day gross of any film.
Gee, wow.
So, this did massive numbers.
I remember it being huge when I was younger. It was like this. The marketing campaign was massive.
Yeah,
it still looks great now.
It does look incredible now.
It beat the first week opening of Toy Story. This film was absolutely enormous, and it went on for ages. It broke so many records at the time. And for me, this is I know there have been blockbusters before this. Blockbusters, I think that had gone back to the kind of the 70s and that. But for me, this one's the first one where it's kind of you get blockbusters as you get them now, where they become these big summer event films that hit all the marketing. This had fucking toys. It had a PlayStation game, which by all accounts was fucking terrible.
It's not good.
The reason why I pointed out that Jeff Goldblum used an Apple Mac is because Apple did a promotion saying this laptop saves the world for the PowerBook at the time. Which I remember seeing that advert in
PowerBook weren't terrible.
No, it was good. But that's that's the first time I'd seen kind of corporations advertising around a film like that.
Yeah.
Wow. And the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the greatest film in the world. Will Smith is fine. He's doing the Will Smith thing in it. Jeff Goldblum is fine in it. Judd Hirsch is fucking brilliant as a Jewish dad.
He's really good in it.
The role he was born to play.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman is great as the president. Randy Quaid plays crazy well because he's crazy.
Yeah. He does.
It had fantastic special effects for the time. I love the scene, the first attack scene where you get that slow motion set of explosions down Fifth Avenue in New York, and the buildings all kind of exploding. I love how they did that kind of effect, because it's all practical effects. It's all models that are being exploded.
It's fantastic.
That was the amazing thing about that was I watched a documentary on them, and they built all these scale models.
They were massive models, though, weren't they?
Just blow them up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have to do this in one take. Otherwise, it sets us back weeks because we have to rebuild this model.
Yeah. I think I've seen the same one because I remember the special effects guys going and says, how many people get to say that you blew up the White House today?
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah,
such a good film.
Yeah, for all like you say, for all I'll take the piss and say, like, it is an America fuck yeah film. Like the one,
it is. It's called Independence Day.
Well, no, but like even like there's a bit where because these massive 15-mile wide alien ships are around the world, they're destroying cities everywhere. You get this one bit where you've got the British Army in Africa for some reason, and like
I've got the Yanks on the phone.
Yeah. Yes, the Americans have come up with a plan. Well, it's about bloody time. It's like, no, fuck off. That wouldn't
Get me a cup of tea. Get onto the Jerry's. We'll tell them next.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, the even stupider thing is their solution to blowing up these ships. Obviously, they take down the deflector shields, and they fly nuclear weapons into the ship over land.
That's how you do it in America, baby.
You're going to do as much damage killing that ship with a nuke as the ship itself is going to do.
Yeah.
So, well, they nuke one, don't they? Like, their original plan is, we need to nuke it, and nothing happens.
Well, it just irradiates LA.
Yeah. Well, the nuke, because
which they allude on this sequel, actually, that LA got fucked up.
Yeah, they hit the front. They basically hit the front of the ship, so it's like everything in front of it gets nuked, and like the way they have to work it is like the doors open for it to attack Area 51, and then Randy Quaid flies up with his one remaining nuke that won't fire because it's faulty American workmanship.
I'm back.
Yeah. I think, like I say, it's a really fucking entertaining bullshit film. I really like it.
That's what I like about it. There's no subtlety to it. There's no nuance to the film. It's just a good popcorn blockbuster.
And the last thing I'll say on it as well, the awards, like, it won an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, which it absolutely thoroughly deserved. Got nominated for loads of other awards, like the Saturn Awards, Kids' Choice Awards, MTV Movie Awards. But looking on the Wikipedia, my favourite thing is so Universe Readers' Choice Awards won Best Writing. Mm-hmm. Next line down, Golden Raspberry Awards, Worst Written Film of 1996.
I don't think it's written very well at all.
Well, Will Smith. There's
a few moments of like, oh, that's a nice bit of prose, but other than that, there's nothing major in it.
But do you know who was up before Will Smith for the role of Stephen Hiller?
No,
Ethan Hawke.
That would have been a very different film.
Yeah. And he got
Will Smith is perfect for that role.
He got the script and rejected it because he said it's one of the worst things I've ever read.
He's notoriously picky though, Ethan Hawke.
Oh yeah, but I just thought that was a nice, funny little fact. So,
he would have been more of a household name if he'd have done it as well.
Yeah. Well,
welcome to Earth.
Yeah, it also ushered in like blockbusters being disaster films. This was 1996, so 1997 you got Dante's Peak and Volcano. 1998 you got Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah.
Then obviously Emmerich went on to do Day After Tomorrow in 2012 and White House Down. So it's just
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, disaster films being the blockbusters kind of came from this one. After you had that run of the ones in the 70s of like Towering Inferno and the Poseidon Adventure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Independence Day.
I think that's what a lot of summer blockbusters are. A bit of peril when everything's fine. You know what I mean? You're getting took away for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and at the end, most of them just yay. Do you know what I mean?
And also, just seen on the Wikipedia, and I'm going to have to get this and read it and review it. There is an tie-in novel version of the film.
Oh mate, I'm getting that.
And the novel presents the film's finale as originally scripted, with the character played by Randy Quaid stealing a nuclear missile and roping it to his crop duster.
Of course he does. That's what you should do. Because nukes definitely go off just by being banged.
Clearly, yeah. Just bang the end of it.
You don't have to trigger him. You never have to trigger him. Fucking.
Oh god, Emmerich's a fucking hack, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Good pick though. Fantastic pick. That is a summer blockbuster. Biggie, you've seen many summers. Come on.
I have, but I have to say right off the bat that I actually didn't see this in the cinema because I was too young when this actually came out. But I have seen it obviously.
Wizard of Oz,
many
Metropolis.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
You weren't too young for Raiders, you liar.
Oh, it came out in 1981, so it would have made me 7.
Born in 1951.
Shut up. So anyway, yes, it's the American action adventure directed by Steven Spielberg, written by Lawrence Kasdan of Empire Strikes Back fame. And also was based on a story by George Lucas and Philip Kaufman. So, yeah, George Lucas dipped his hand in this as well.
It's definitely a Lucasfilm film, isn't it?
Yeah, it stars Harrison Ford, of course, Karen Allen, Paul Freeman, Ronald Lacey, John Rhys Davis, and Denham Elliott, to mention a few. Ford plays Indiana Jones, globe-trotting archaeologist, vying with the Nazi German forces in 1936 to recover the lost Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, I mean, I was poking fun at Stig last week after the pod about how many times he'd watched Infinity War and Hamilton, but I must have watched Raiders of the Lost Ark so many times, and I watched it last night.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's still superb, still incredible movie. It is basically based on sort of all those serial films of the early 20th century, those sort of Flash Gordon adventure romps that used to see on TV and books. I mean, the idea of this movie was delivered absolutely perfectly, and it also became very big, one of the biggest VHS sellers. So when it actually went to video, which is obviously how I saw it, it was one of the very big first blockbusters to make so much money via that. It's apparently earned $330.5 million worldwide. And it's played in some theatres at that time for over a year. Can you imagine going to the cinema and they're still showing that movie for a year? I mean, incredible.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It was nominated for several awards. It won 5 Academy Awards, 7 Saturn Awards, don't know what that is, and 1 BAFTA. It's still considered to be one of the greatest films ever made and has had such a lasting impact on culture. So many imitators, so many people have tried to do it. I mean, you've got things like, I don't know, you've had The Mummy, National Treasure. Alan Quatermass or something, was that right? Quatermain. There's and lots of other. You got Uncharted,
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still incredible that a movie that old has still never really been bettered, in my opinion. It just happened to nail it, and a lot of it is down to Harrison Ford. I think when you first see Indy at the beginning of the movie, you already get this idea that this is not the first time he's done this, that there's history behind this
his
character.
First rodeo.
That he knows what he's doing. And he's trying to get that golden idol from the Peruvian temple that's obviously full of booby traps. The escape from the temple is just incredible with the ball that is chasing him down. I mean, apparently it was a real set, 65 foot. Harrison Ford did something like 10 takes.
Alfred Molina nearly get killed.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it's the first performance
of
Alfred Molina when you first see him. I can imagine a lot of these actors actually did their own stunts, apart from some of the obvious stuff. But I think Ford delivers confidence with his characters that you know they've got this history behind them. As he's later on quoted, it says, "It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage," and you can just tell that Indiana Jones has had this sort of adventure before.
Harrison Ford is great. Is the perfect actor to play him because every role that he's in, he plays as I would rather be anywhere else than here.
Yeah, he's disdain. That's what it is.
That's just been his entire style for his entire career.
If obviously everyone knows that it was going to be Tom Selleck, I'm so fucking glad it wasn't.
Oh god,
because he'd have been more James Bond, wouldn't he? He'd have been giving it that. And I feel like
still would have worked from
I feel like Harrison Ford,
but...
like he is a hit with the women, but I don't think he could care less if he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And I think with the cast around him, with like Denham Elliott as Marcus Brody, who comes into his own as the movies go on, but he's just so classic as a sort of really loyal friend. The old flame, Karen Allen as Marion Ravenwood, she's amazing in this, and then
she's fantastic in it.
John Rhys Davis as Salah as well. The vulnerability that you do finally see with Indy is obviously he's afraid of snakes, and in this movie they had anything between 6,000 to 10,000 snakes that they tried to get for that Well of the Soul scene, and apparently
none of them CGI.
They ran out of anti-venom as well. They had to import some from India, so a lot of the snakes obviously had their issues. There was a plexiglass for the famous scene with the cobra in front of Harrison Ford, so that obviously didn't attack him directly. But again,
you can see the reflection, can't you, of the plexiglass?
Yeah.
But he don't take you out of it. That's my biggest. Snakes is my biggest fear, and that scene fucks me up. And also the scene at the beginning with the snakes in the boat. That's my pet. When he gets in the boat in the plane, sorry, I fucking hate snakes.
Having watching it again last night, the stunts still look incredible. The fist fighting, maybe not so much. That's probably dated. The gunfights.
There's a lot of sound effect fist fighting. Like,
oh, definitely, yeah, with someone smacking a piece of ham or melon.
Yeah,
but it's still delivered with the fun that you wanted from this movie. And I think there's a great scene later on where Harrison Ford is trying to rescue Marion again. And he's standing on the canyon. This was supposed to be in Egypt, but it was actually filmed in Tunisia. And it's the same canyon that was used in Star Wars as well. And he was going to fire a rocket launcher at the Ark. It brilliantly shows that even though he thought he could save Marion, at the end of the day, he's still an archaeologist and he couldn't bring himself to destroy something that he desperately wanted to actually see for himself, which I think was really cool.
Remember what's inside the Ark?
Death.
Apart from death,
it's the Ten Commandments.
It's supposed to be the Ten Commandments, but it's all dust, isn't it? When they open it up, it's just all grains of sand, whatever it is that's in there.
Don't spoil it for people that have never watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. All one of them.
But the music again was provided by John Williams, and you now have the famous Raiders March theme. It went on to have 2 official sequels and TV series. There have been books and games and everything else based on the character. But I loved it. You know, I've always been a big fan of it. And like Oodles has mentioned before, that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is a little bit problematic. Yeah, and I did see that in the cinema. But I still love them. I just think even now, even though there's still going to be an Indy 5, which I just can't believe is actually still happening, but the fact that they've never technically got anyone else to play this character, because I really don't think at the moment if there really is anyone out there who could. Because
not with that much disdain, because most actors like being actors. He doesn't. Never has.
If you think of all the people that all the roles that Harrison Ford has played, I still think that he absolutely fucking owned Indy. I just can't see anyone else ever playing it that way if they ever decided to remake.
It's the fact that he smiles about 3 times a film, and when he does that smile, you're like, yes, that's my boy.
Did you not just ask Shia LaBeouf to do a sequel with his character from Crystal Skull?
Oh, it doesn't exist. But yeah, it's just fantastic. It's such a good movie, and I enjoyed it. I know every beat watching it last night. I just sat there and I was just like, this is still so good, and has never been bettered in my personal opinion. Even with the sequels, as much as I love them, I still think Raiders is the best.
Spielberg for you, innit? He does a film about a shark, never been bettered. He does a dinosaur film, never been bettered. Does an action adventure with it, like an archaeologist kind of globetrotter, never been bettered. Just the man
he changed war movies, didn't he?
The man has this ability to nail it, and then everything that tries to ape it or imitate it just
it's not
can't live up to it. He ruins it for everyone else.
Spielberg is undeniably the king of blockbusters. I'd argue anyone over that. There's no one better. So we'll move on to me. Mine's not like your guys' absolute incredible films where it's all everyone knows and loves them. Or maybe not so much with Gadget because there's a lot of haters on Independence Day, but mine's quite underrated. But it's a personal. I love this. So a summer blockbuster usually has to have bombast or change what can be done with cinema. Sometimes they're simply dumb, fun action films like we've discussed. And not many people can hit the moniker of summer blockbuster legends like Spielberg, Brockenheimer, Mann, Emmerich and Bay. Their direction and script work is sometimes second to none. Caveat sometimes. And pioneering most of the time. Summer blockbusters can be quite pioneering with cinematography, combining practical effects and CGI and stuff like that, especially as years have gone on. And then there are auteurs. Like Spielberg's an auteur. The directors that they've got an instant vision for all their work, making you think that's one of theirs. It's undeniably them. So the film I'm bringing to the table is a film I know many people don't care for, but for me, it's a perfect adaptation of the source material. It released in 2008, on the 11th of July. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. You didn't expect that. So, directed by one of my personal favourites, Guillermo del Toro. It's my second favourite of his films, starring Ron Perlman, Selma Blair, Doug Jones, Seth MacFarlane and Luke Goss. Now, if you don't know what Hellboy 2 is, here's a bit of a synopsis. So, after saving the world from the evil Russian mystic Grigory Rasputin in Hellboy, the red-skinned, gun-toted demon is back to protect the world once again. So far, so same. But what this does, it introduces some new characters in the Hellboy mythos. But if you like the book, I don't know if you guys ever read Hellboy.
No,
I haven't.
I fucking loved Hellboy. And the first one didn't quite get it, if you get me. They didn't,
I really like the
capture
first one.
I do. It's not. I just.
I
think
know
the
what
second
Oodles
one's
says. I know what he means
leagues
by
better.
that. Yeah.
It's the second one's leagues better because it's a globe-trotting adventure. So it's a film that showcases every side of the multifaceted Mexican genius. There's the spellbinding fairy tale visuals with emotional subtext reminiscent of Pan's Labyrinth. There's the blockbuster thrills of Pacific Rim. There's Luke Goss. Backflipping. It's a step up on every level from the first Hellboy, in my opinion. I honestly can't think of a single thing wrong with it at all. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I love it. It's brilliant.
I didn't really like Hellboy 1, so I never bothered.
I've seen it.
The second one, it's super fucking... I think it's special, and people don't talk about it enough. It does... If you're not into Del Toro, you won't like it. It's that simple. It's not a Hellboy film. It's Del Toro flexing his muscles a little bit, his directing muscles, to take something that he clearly loved, an adaptation, and turn it into this... It's a fantasy. It's not a superhero. It's not a superhero film like the first one was. This is like a fantasy. It's for me. It gives me like vibes of like Time Bandits and Willow and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking. You get me, don't you? Because they go to fucking Ireland, and then there's loads of Irish folklore and stuff like that. It's fucking. Oh, it's fantastic.
The graphic novel itself is more for that comic medium. It works better as a graphic novel because it's about the creatures, it's about the lore behind the really dark side of the things that they're trying to track down.
And the first film is just the origin story.
Yeah, it was just telling that story, but the second one delved a bit more into that. I totally agree.
I just think you've got moments where like Hellboy and Abe Sapien are getting that sidekick double act thing back like they should have, not like there was on the first one where they were just at each other's throat all the time. It's just, I just think it's brilliant. And the follow up with David Harbour, the remake, didn't like it.
No, I haven't seen it, but I heard it wasn't good.
That had some interesting ideas and managed to systematically fuck all of them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing I liked in the David Harbour one was the kind of the troll fight.
Yeah, I like that bit. That's cool. And that's what I like about Hellboy when he's fighting mystical creatures. That's what he is. That's what he does.
The art style in the graphic novel is really... It just suits that story so well. It's all about the art as much as the story. It's very hard to deliver. And Del Toro is probably the only person that could ever really pull that off, I think. Get ever close to it, I think. He's the best choice.
The second, it literally is the best. It's like when Del Toro did Blade 2. That's the best one in that as well. In Blade, I just think he's one of those blockbuster movie. But he can also go and do something a bit more cerebral and a bit crazy, like Pan's Labyrinth
or Shape of Water,
things like that. It's just he can do Pacific Rim. I mean, Pacific Rim 1's a right laugh. 2, it's all right. But
silly to see those films.
Pacific Rim 1's, I feel like kaiju and mechs, mate. I was like this, woo, all fucking way through it. I loved it. But yeah, Hellboy 2, I think anyone listening to this, and even if you've seen it but you haven't gone back to it, it's a nice breath of fresh air from those typical Marvel films and stuff like that, and DC films and all that. I think it's nigh on perfect adaptation. I really do. And I think Biggie kind of agrees with me on that one.
Yeah, I do. I mean, was it actually based on a particular comic? I can't remember if the story was new. I thought I'd read
the storyline is a mixture of two of the novels, and then just giving him then Luke Goss. Just put Luke Goss in it, basically, because
He was
he's really
fine.
good at
He was
backflipping.
absolutely fine in that. Yeah, he's really good.
Mate, he's one of the best choreographers in the world. He's fucking insane. But yeah, it's just great. The scene that Biggie where they go to the fairy market and stuff like that. Remember that?
The vision is
fantastic.
incredible. Yeah, I must go
It's
back and watch it.
fantastic. I mean, Seth MacFarlane's probably the weakest thing in it, but
Who's
it's
he
not
in that
offensive.
again? What did he do? I can't remember. Who was his role in that?
He's the Klaus, the mist, the vapor that's in the diving suit.
Was he?
He's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's him doing a German accent. Yeah, he's the worst thing in it, but he's not even terrible. But I fucking love Hellboy 2, and I never hear people chat about it. That's what pisses me off.
So, yeah.
Everyone always talks about Hellboy 1, saying I really like Hellboy 1. I never got to watch 2 like that. Fucking watch 2. It's fucking best. Love it. That's mine. Stig?
Well, Gadget talked about the highest grossing film in 1996. I'm going to talk about the highest grossing film in 1997.
Hey.
He's trying to one-up you there.
Also, starring Will Smith. So Will Smith had a very good year back-to-back in 96 and 97.
Mate, he had a good run. He had a good run for a few years, mate.
I went to see this film with some school friends. Which someone booked it as a party, go to cinema and watch this film, and this was the film he was desperate to see. And it's a lot of fun. It stars Tommy Lee Jones as well, and it's Men in Black.
Yeah, boy.
Also,
Gadget's favourite film, isn't it?
I love Men in Black. It's a fucking great film.
Men in Black is so good. It also stars Vincent D'Onofrio and Rip Torn as well, and Linda
and
Fiorentino, but
Tommy Lee Jones.
I already said Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you. Sorry, I thought you'd missed it.
So you're talking over me.
There's a delay.
So yes, it stars Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith in the lead roles, and it is about a secret government organisation who have to deal with aliens who live on Earth and live among us. And I think the premise is brilliant. The fact that on Earth there is aliens kind of living as humans. They're all just living their own lives as humans.
They're immigrants, aren't they?
Yeah, and the Men in Black are this organisation that has to just basically keep them in check so they don't go too rogue and start killing us all. Unfortunately, Vincent D'Onofrio's character gets kind of infected and taken over by one of these aliens, and he does try to leave Earth in an attempt to kill us all. And it is their job to protect the universe. And it's so much fun. It's a great action comedy. It's the Tommy Lee Jones is a straight man. Will Smith is the funny man, and they just play off each other so well. It's full of great like little moments where just beautiful comedy, where just something so simple like when they go to that kiosk and Will Smith is talking about this guy. Look, he looks horrendous. You can tell he's an alien. Look at him. And then it's actually the little dog that's the alien.
Yeah. There are some beautiful moments like that.
That kind of bit as well, where he's like, they're going through all the guns. They've got all these like real special cool guns. And Tommy Lee Jones picks up this big massive blaster, and Will Smith's like, "Yeah, this is what I'm talking about." He's like, "No, you're still in training. You have the little cricket." And it's this tiny little gun,
which is the worst. It's the most powerful gun ever.
But it's a proper.
You're in
powerful
training.
gun.
You have the most powerful gun we've got.
Yeah,
but it's an absolutely brilliant moment of comedy when like Jay first fires it and gets launched through the shop.
Launched, fucking launched.
But I just remember seeing this in the cinema, having a lot of fun. The premise again is a lot of fun. The action, comedy, it's just everything about it is just. I still think it's great now. In fact, some of the effects for a 97 film as well still hold up. Specifically, D'Onofrio with all the kind of rubber face and pulling his head back.
He nearly steals that movie, doesn't he? He's so good.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Have you seen his
movement? the way he moves and talks as he progressively gets worse, and as his body starts to deteriorate, and then at the end he just like pulls all the skin off it as well. Like, so it's got a kind of little bit of a horror element to it as well, hasn't it? I love
that moment. It's kind of at the end after the like shot his ship down, and he's getting out of it. He's like, you idiots! You think this matters? In fact, in a minute, you're not going to be matter.
It's not going to be matter.
I love that line. It's it's his delivery as well. It's just like this pure rage that he manages to put forward. Like Vincent D'Onofrio is an actor that needs a lot more attention. He's so good.
I
fucking love him.
Yeah, he's amazing at the moment as the Kingpin.
Oh, he nailed that.
Yeah, do you know he researched that role by watching bug documentaries? So he actually
like a cockroach.
researched how like bugs move and stuff.
Wow.
And he put on a knee brace so he couldn't bend his legs. And
he walked with his like feet forward, didn't he, rather than his body forward. It's so weird.
Taped his ankles and like so his legs were all rigid, and the way he moved
he turns his head with his body.
Wasn't
it's
human.
Fucking cool.
I'm just looking on the Wikipedia. Apparently, Vincent D'Onofrio was the third in line for that role.
Oh no, he was born to play it.
First was John Turturro.
I can actually see that though.
And the second was Bruce Campbell.
Oh, now he'd have hammed it up too much.
He would have, but it'd have been
going,
a very
groovy.
Oh, I'd like to see that, but I just think D'Onofrio plays
would.
that. I think D'Onofrio does steal that scene, but yeah, I kind of just again like the whole concept of the aliens living on Earth is like really cool. Like they have that visual in the when they go down to the Men in Black like underground bunker, and there has all these like celebrities on the wall. It's like Danny DeVito and Sylvester Stallone, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, people like that. They're all
aliens.
They're all aliens living among us, but no one knew. And then they obviously play on that in the sequels. You have like the likes of I think Michael Jackson and Lady Gaga.
No, Michael Jackson's not an alien. He just wants to join the MIB. That's what I keep saying.
I thought he was an alien and he just wanted to join.
No, if you remember,
it's in the second film, isn't it?
Yeah. He mentioned now he just wants us to join. He's
always trying to call, isn't
Man
he?
in Black.
Yeah, they always like put him on hold and like hang up on him.
What? Fucking hell, mate! Jesus. I did want to mention on Men in Black, like Barry Sonnenfeld. They adapted because the comic's so dark, and it's not what it's based on. It's not a comedy comic. You know what I mean? It's proper dark and government organisations and stuff like that. It's still got aliens in it, but the adaptation to this, I bet there were people pissed off at times. This is not my Men in Black, but he turned it into a franchise. I think it's mesmerising how they did it.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones got them to rewrite things because the original script wasn't in keeping with the tone of the comics. So they obviously played this off more as for laughs. You know, getting someone like Will Smith in, you can't. You know, you're not going to get Will Smith in it in the 90s to do a serious role, are you?
Because he was a comedy actor then, wasn't he?
Comedy action. You know, he's the comedy in Independence Day. But I also kind of love the film, the aspects of film about the galaxy, the whole subplot with the galaxy being in just in that marble, and it's a bit silly right at the end, but then you kind of could think about it and goes, no one really knows what our space is, and is our galaxy, and are we within our own bubble or not? Like we don't really know.
It's a nice little thought.
We'll never know.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's like our existence is just a marble.
I don't remember. So is Men in Black 2 okay? Is it the third one that was shit?
No, 2 is terrible.
They haven't. 2's really bad.
They worst.
3's watchable with a bit of popcorn. It's not good. It's just watchable. And then that Men in Black International, I've reviewed that on here a few years. It's turgid. It's fucking horrendous. It's not hit the heights of that first one.
They switched their roles around or something, didn't they? Because he retired, didn't he? And then he tried to get back out of retirement.
Yeah, Men in Black 2, the first half of the film is him trying to deneuralize K and bring him back back because there's some threat. But the The problem was there was like studio interference. Like the film's only like 90 minutes long. It needs to be longer. I remember seeing the second one in the cinema and like the credits roll, and I'm like, is that it? Like it feels like it should be a much longer film than it is.
And Johnny Knoxville is one of the villains.
I didn't mind him so much on all that. But I didn't like the main.
Yeah, he was all right. I think Lara Flynn Boyle was terrible.
She was fucking god awful.
The film is obviously set up so it's meant to be Jay and is it Elle? She's like Elle at the end, Laurel.
Elle, yeah.
But I think there's some behind the scenes shit.
She didn't come back, did she?
No.
So that's why they think they brought Tommy Lee Jones back in the sequel. But Gadget touched on it there, that the idea of the neutralizers, I think, is brilliant and works really well. Like, people have seen. Why do we not know about this? Well, because
it's been neuralized.
Yeah, because we wipe people's memories, and they play with that really well in a comedic way as well.
They do it on one of the films where it's the Statue of Liberty is the big one, isn't it?
That's Men in Black 2.
Yeah,
big neuralizer. That's how they get away with it on a global scale and stuff. Fucking crazy, man. I do like the mythos of Men in Black.
Yeah, of course. What sets this film though, apart from Independence Day, is that this film got a banging single from it.
Yeah.
And that's what's playing us out this episode. It has to be. It fucking has to
Men
be.
in Black.
I love that song.
When Will Smith used to do a theme tune to his movies,
dance with me, just
loved
dance
it
with me.
I think Nod Your Head's better.
The modern day Dennis Waterman.
Yeah. No, but even with Wild Wild West, the song is good.
Oh, the song's
film isn't.
The film's awful. I love the song.
It was catchy.
Look at Wild Wild West.
Yeah, the film's
West,
fucking
Desperado, Rough Rider.
No, that's playing us out.
No, I Nod Your Head for Men in Black 2. That's the best thing to come from that film.
That was
Nod Your Head's a banger.
Yeah.
Did we do one for Men in Black 3 that was absolutely shite?
Yeah, it was something like we're back in, not back in black, but somewhere along those lines. The black suits are back or something.
Yeah, but it was his like angry rap phase.
Yeah. I'm still not gonna swear
did he
though.
Do one for
that
3?
kind of.
Or was it that he didn't do one? And that's
till I'm at the Oscars.
I can't remember. Yeah. I think the last one he did one for was Hitch.
Oh, I fucking hated Hitch.
He definitely didn't do one for Pursuit of Happiness because that wouldn't have been tonally accurate.
No, it wouldn't.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
But yeah, we've mentioned so many of my favourite summer blockbusters on this pod before, so I want to go with something I'd never talked about.
Yeah, man.
So that's why I chose Men in Black. I think it's an absolute cracker. It's one I saw in the cinema. And yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. If you've never seen Men in Black, you really need to watch it.
Where have you been?
Yeah,
they might have been neuralized.
It is a really good, fun film.
Actually, sorry, just going back to what I was saying about Men in Black 2, I was really wondering why the ending was tinkered with. And I found out why. Principal photography began on June 11th, 2001 and ended on September 23rd, 2001. Climax of the story was originally filmed against the backdrop of the Twin Towers in the original World Trade Center. So the climax,
like Spider-Man then.
So the whole ending of it had to be completely reworked and to not include those scenes. So that explains why the ending was kind of sudden.
Okay, that's good. As excuses go.
About that. Yeah,
not a good excuse.
Not going to grumble against that.
No way. Brilliant. Thank you. Excellent. What I want to know is if our blockbuster listeners have got any summer blockbusters that they like.
They do. They have busted some blocks and written in. So we'll start with Xenos, who starts his correspondence off well with saying, "I don't watch a lot of films."
See ya. We do.
Yeah. Says, you would think I wouldn't have seen anything that counted as a summer blockbuster, but I have watched one film in the cinema that I think counts. Mr. Christopher Nolan's Inception from 2010.
Love it.
Yeah, that counts.
While I was in secondary school, I used to go to the cinema every couple of months with friends, and I'll be blunt, almost everything we ended up seeing was so bad it's good at best. Some of them were downright terrible. Inception is the only notable exception to that, and that it's a pretty good film made by someone who understands how films are supposed to work. I'm pretty sure I picked it because it was still screening in August. That meant I could make it my birthday thing, and I'm glad I did. The rotating corridor fight is still one of the most impressive pieces of physical work I've ever seen in a film. And there's also this bit where they clearly built two versions of the same staircase with exactly the right angles to not be able to see the change until the camera moves. Oh, and one of the car chases they had to fake a rainstorm in LA. Turns out you can do that, you just need a whole lot of water cannons. Apparently the weather refused to cooperate, so they made their own. Aren't special effects great?
Yes, I love Inception. I think it's brilliant. And the music is incredible. main-theme time is just...
I think
it's a classic piece of music for me. I absolutely love it.
I think it's peak Christopher Nolan. Like, because I don't think since he's managed to top it.
Not for me. He hasn't. People bang on about Interstellar.
Interstellar had all the potential to top it, but it shit the bed in the end.
Yes, and the whole
now
speech
when it comes to
about love.
Christopher Nolan, it's all Prestige, Batman, and this.
Yeah,
that's what it is for me anyway.
Although you can't really count Dark Knight Rises and that because that was shit as well.
I don't
think it was shit.
I don't think it's bad.
There's some bad decisions in there, and there's also it had to follow up the Dark Knight, which is tough to do.
Well,
exactly.
Speaking of which, Ray has come in saying my favourite summer blockbuster is, of course, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
First of all, it's exciting to watch. From a unique art style that catches the spirit of the source material to a storyline well balanced between thriller and action, with a top-notch soundtrack and performance served on top of making the film a perfect banquet for summer. Secondly, the movie can be described as genre-defining, but there is still nothing quite like it after almost 15 years. The Mimickers tried to replicate The Dark Knight's success, but only got dim graphics in return. As such, there is still one and only of its kind. Oh, there's lots of good blockbusters. I have no difficulty in picking this one as my favourite.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Batman, that's fucking... In my head, I still skirt, is Dark Knight better than that, or is the new Batman better?
I think you can probably argue that they're equally good in different ways.
Yeah, because one is full summer blockbuster, one's
a Batman
cerebral.
Film.
Yeah, one's a bit more...
Did you guys watch like the Batman again the second time around yet? Because I think I'd like to go back and watch it again to...
I've watched it 3 times.
I haven't found time to watch it for 3 hours. I've got other stuff to watch.
I'd like to go back and see it.
Yeah,
it's but yeah, I really like The Dark Knight, and there's plenty of moments in it which are, which just always stick in my mind. Like the one that always keeps going with me is when they flip the truck, and that being
God, it's so good.
That being a practical effect as well. Like they've really flipped a fucking truck.
Yeah, they did it.
Opening heist is awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, the opening heist is great. I love the It's that kind of that monologue from Joker it's at the very end where like Batman's kind of looking out over the 2 ferries that are going in different directions, and you've got the Joker hanging upside down, just giving his whole chaos speech. I fucking love that whole sequence.
Yeah, fuck, that is a summer blockbuster, man.
Yeah. Adam Golightly's saying, for me, it's got to be Jurassic Park in the summer of '93. Me, me mum, me dad, and me gran were off. No, sorry. Me, me mum, me dad, and me sister went with a family friend and their kids. I remember it well. Just as the lair who was sent to check on the park was eaten. The lawyer. Lair. Learn to write, Adam. The lawyer who was sent to check on the park was eaten on the loo by the T-Rex. I absolutely shit myself and wished I'd sat with my mum. That film was the talk of the playground for what seemed like years, and it's still in my top 3 films of all time now.
Yeah, we were banned from picking Jurassic Park.
We've talked about it enough.
Because it is the best film ever made.
We've talked about it enough recently.
Yeah.
In some opinion.
It is the best film ever made, Biggie.
Unanimous voting.
Lee Davis has said, Raiders, mate. I'll add that it has great cinematography, iconic lead performance, and one of the best soundtracks, and it's the first film I saw at the cinema. That's a pretty high standard to start with, isn't it?
That's Biggie and Lee Davis entering a romance now.
Yeah. And last up, it's Best Boy Angry Kurt. My favourite summer blockbuster is the recent film Top Gun Maverick. I'm really surprised how much I enjoyed this film, as merely a week before seeing it, I watched the original and thought it was very average. In fact, I thought it was so boring I didn't hold it much hope for Maverick, but I adored it and would say it's my favourite action film ever after Die Hard. The action was just so well choreographed, and I felt genuine peril for the characters involved. It was superbly shot and I was gripped throughout. Granted, I did see it at the 4D IMAX cinema, which would no doubt heighten the experience, but I think it would have been equally as good without, and I can't wait till it's released on Blu-ray to buy, which is something I only do for my all-time favourite films.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I think I've missed my chance to see it, because obviously I'm seeing Thor this week, and now really want to see Elvis. I'm not going to get a chance to see Top Gun.
I watched Top Gun.
Watch it on
the original the night before we saw Maverick, and it's really funny watching the original, which is fine. And the scenes with the planes is absolutely fine. It's dated a bit. Then you go and see Maverick, you're like, fucking hell.
Is it like a different fucking dimension?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Totally.
Do you think in his 4D, do you think he had like a yoke and a throttle and stuff?
Well, no, that's the thing where it like blows air in your face and moves the chairs and stuff like that, doesn't it?
Oh, that'd make me sick. I'd be dead.
To see it with that.
How can I nip off for a poo when chairs flipping around? I'd be fucked. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much for writing in. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk, and please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour. Next week, we're continuing our summer theme with the big fat Modern Escapism Summer Barbecue. It's gonna be wild. Trust me. Because barbecues, they come and go, but so do we. But don't forget, Alien RPG.
Yes,
the
Saturday.
Alien RPG.
Another blockbuster.
Oh, I can't stop thinking about this.
Oh, I'm
so excited.
So hyped for it. I've read through the scenario so many times. I'm ready for this. So join us 7:30 p.m. Saturday, the 9th of July, twitch.tv/Modern Escapism. All 5 of us are playing, plus Jack from the Sequelizers. He's joining in as well, so I get to kill someone from another podcast, which is brilliant.
Try.
The VOD will be up the next day, and it's going to hit. If you can't watch it, or you don't want to watch it, or you're just happy to listen to it, it's going to be on both the Modern Escapism and the Scorched Sheep podcast feeds about a week later, when I get a chance to edit it.
For you guys that have listened to us and you've not dipped your toe into Scorched Sheep or Dungeons & Dragons at all, this live event will be the perfect thing for you just to get a feel for what it actually is like for poor Gadget.
Yeah, having to deal with your bullshit.
Yeah, get ready. I think it's gonna be wonderful. So I keep thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I hope it don't fuck up. This is actually me having to concentrate a lot. I've done live things with you guys many times. This I've got to concentrate. I've got to do maths live. I'm so scared.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, but yeah, this has been an episode, and for those that aren't patron, good night.